Are we on? Salute to all my fans, to all the people who watch my content. Keta Ruza, Bravo One Podcast again. It's all about dropping content. It's all about sharing information with you too. I'm back with another video, and it's going to be just a short video. You know, whatever information that I have that I feel like we should share, I'm gonna put it to you guys so we share information, we interact. And so, by the way, on this specific episode, I'm not actually instructing to what the company management or company owners or security executives or directors telling them to do. Is actually, this content is about how we feel when they do certain things. Does it make sense? I'm not actually telling them what to do. I'm telling them how we feel when they behave a certain way under normal circumstances as security officers. So it's like I will be telling them how employees feel when they do certain things, or when they behave a certain way, so to speak. Otherwise, so that's basically the topic for this episode. If you can check, normally security companies, sometimes the senior management, they do treat employees in a certain way, forgetting that if you treat employees in a bad way, you happen to stand a good chance of losing contracts sometimes. Because why? You have got angry staff, aggrieved staff. So when the officers are angry, they are capable of doing anything. Remember, those are the people who are holding your contract into their hand like this. So if you ill-treat them, if you create dissatisfaction, you are creating a loophole, a pipeline of grievances and everything, and them starting now to look at you as their manager, who is not caring, who is not compassionate, who doesn't really want to know how they feel about their workplace and all. That's why in some companies you'll find managers coming to the site, talking to the guards, walking post to post, checking if everyone is fine. It's very important, guys, because if you don't check on your guards, you'll never know how they feel, you'll never know their concerns and everything. So here are some of the important points that I feel if security managers or security directors or even the human resource office, because the human resource office, the purpose of that office is to take care of the human resource. So whatever issues that employees have, it has to go through the human resource office, whereby it goes with employee wellness and all of that. So it's very important for the management, the whole team of management, to know what is happening on the ground. And then for them to know is for them to go to the field, to talk to the guards, to interact with the guards, to ask them how they feel and all of that. So it goes a long way. So I've seen security companies losing contract because of angry guards, because of employees who are not happy, employees who feel they are not being attended to, their grievances are stuck there somewhere in between maybe the supervisor and the management, or it becomes now chaos. And when they vent out their frustration as a company manager or a company director or a company owner, you will feel the pain. So it's very important to put preventative measures and have contingency plans so that we avoid such things to happen in our future. So the first point that we are going to discuss is if you want your employees to be happy, you need to pay them accordingly. Pay them according to the CERA rate. If they worked overtime, pay them. If they worked on a holiday, pay them. If they worked on a Sunday, pay them accordingly, according to the contract they signed, according to the CERA rate, as we are regulated by CERA. So pay them well, and they will be happy, because if you pay them well, you are making their families happy, and then they will be able to get the strength to work and to perform to their utmost best, because they are happy. A happy employee is capable of going an extra mile, skyrocket, and go such an extra mile where you even never thought, So pay them well, and companies should stop taking shortcuts. Sometimes these companies, and not all, but some of the companies, they do it deliberately. I've observed that some companies, yes, do rob the guards deliberately, and that's where the problem starts, because if you hit them in the pocket, that's where the unhappiness starts. Just make sure you pay them according to CERA rate. Sorry, another thing, attend to their queries. When they have pay queries, make sure you attend to those queries. Whether the pay query is valid or invalid, you will give a feedback that, listen, your pay query is not valid because these are the days that you worked, and this is how much you rate, and this is how we calculated your salary. They have a right to know those things. So you clarify all the issues. You don't have issues hanging, and then the guard now has got 6 pay queries which are still outstanding. They are not attended to. They are not paid. I've seen chaos. I have seen chaos as a guard myself. I've seen chaos in that. So attend to all those queries and let them know how their salaries are being calculated. It's very important. And if you don't show them, because remember, it goes with transparency. If you don't show them how their salaries are calculated, and then how they rate and everything, and the guards are very smart. As guards, we are sometimes, company management or directors, sometimes HR, they take us as if like we don't know how to calculate these things, we don't know how to make to do some research and all that. We do seek information. We do go out to labor and ask, to the bargaining council, to CERA. We go those all the time. We go there. That's where we consult, because it's for free. Otherwise, we've got a free service there, so it's guaranteed that we can go there anytime and sit down with the official, and now they start to show you certain things, and you pick up that, no, there are loopholes here, and then you can quickly challenge the company. I'm not throwing negativity, but people must be able to exercise their rights, and rightfully so, without being victimized. You have to be able to do that. And then the second point is be accessible as the management. Some companies, when you work for them, the management, you won't see them even on site. You'll see them when the client is angry, wants them here. Maybe there's horrible things that are happening. Maybe there's theft, there's chaos. The guards are just walking around not knowing what they're doing. That's when you see management coming and asking, hey, guys, what's going on? They're going to the meeting now. They want to gather facts and all that. No, be accessible to the guards. They are the ones who are paying your salary as the company owner, as the company CEO, as the company manager. You are getting salary from the guards, so you must be accessible. Anytime they want to see you, in fact, you are waking them. So that's your main primary. So be accessible to your guards, talk to your guards, be friendly, hear them out, and interact with them. You will know the issues. And then you need to attend to all the issues that are outstanding. You need to manage conflicts at the sites. Sometimes the guys don't get along, they fight over stupid things. You know the depression of working 12 hours, being fixed on a post and having to rotate, having to submit reports and everything. It's a stretch. So actually the mind gets tired, gets exhausted. They start to have conflicts. Maybe there's some relationships there. They are fighting for a girl, or all those things. They do happen in any workplace, by the way. But to be specific, attend to the guards. You need to manage conflicts when you are management or you are part of management, maybe a supervisor or a manager or area manager, regional manager, whoever you are. On whatever the position, you need to always make sure you are accessible to the guards. If you don't do that, Baba, I'm just worried about you. I'm just worried. You are going to be a stranger to your guards, and one day there's going to be a serious issue. They'll look at you like, and then you say, "Hey guys, what's going on?" You say, "We don't know you. Who are you?" "Oh, today you are here because there's a problem." "No, go to the client." Then they know that the client will hit you hard. So be accessible. Another point is give them credits when it's due. It's very important to credit the employees. When they do something right, you need to credit them. Give them credits. Don't wait for mistakes to happen and you come and you're angry and you say, you can't do this, you can't. No. Give them credits when it's due. Hey, listen, man. Tumsani, you did the right thing, man. Yesterday, I read your report. I'm very impressed, man. That's wonderful. The gut feels like, hey, it means I'm being recognized here. My effort is, when I'm here, they give you, how it feels. It's a human nature, by the way. You make them feel. And those who are messing up, deal with them decisively. So deal with them. Don't wait for a guard who's ill-disciplined to rot and influence everyone else on the side, and then all of a sudden you want to deal with that problem. No. If there's one guard who's negative and you don't deal with that guard, you don't attend to that guard, they are going to influence all the guards, and now the site will be rotten. Everyone will just mess up because they won't care, because they see that even if I care, even if I stand on a post, this guy can desert the post and go somewhere and sit there maybe for an hour or 2 hours and nothing happens, and everybody will just do as they please. There won't be order. So get your house into order. If there's one guard who's negative, who is ill-disciplined, call that guard. Have a one-on-one session like this and talk to that guard. I'm telling you, it's a human nature. The conscience of that guard will talk to him that, hey, here I'm messing up, I need to fix this, and ask him what is his problem actually. They will always tell you. 99% of times they will just openly say, I'm angry, I'm not happy because I had pay query there, no one is attending to me, I had a sick leave, they were not paid, and all of that. Those are the things that are causing negativity, by the way. So you need to attend to those things and make sure that you sort them out. Other companies, they do have these things, awards, guard of the month, supervisor of the month. But let me be clear on those selective methods. You need someone who's impartial, someone who does not have friends, someone who's very principled, because I've seen supervisors nominating their friends. I've seen managers nominating their favorite people only, and then when are you working hard there, they don't recognize your effort and all of that. So you really need to be consistent, and you need to be seen to be consistent, so that you gain confidence from the guards, that they believe that our manager, I know I'm going to take that award this month, and give them vouchers if you can. It's not something that is an obligation, but if you can, it's just to motivate, to inspire the teamwork and to pick up the spirit, of the employees, so that they deliver more. Otherwise, you will be benefiting on that. So yes, you need to to have such activities, you know. And then point number 4, when you're angry as a manager or as a supervisor, don't shout at people. Don't shout at people. You know, shouting at people is so unprofessional, it looks stupid, and at the same time, you are influencing people to be negative, you know, that, I know he's going to shout at me like I'm an idiot. You know, when you shout at someone, they feel like they're stupid. And so it's really not on. So don't shout at them. Don't use vulgar words. Yes, you are the manager, but don't use vulgar words when you're trying to correct something and then you're swearing at people. You are, you know, don't use vulgar words. Just be yourself, man. Just be kind. Whatever the message you are trying to send, even if you don't swear at them, you don't use vulgar words, you don't shout, the message will be sent across. And someone who's very disciplined as a manager will call you aside and say, hey, listen, what is your problem? Why are you not wearing a proper uniform? Where is your duty belt? What is your t-shirt? Why are you not looking neat? Why didn't you shave? Why didn't you, whatever the issue it is, not to shout, you know, you're shouting now and everybody's looking at that person, and then it questions the credibility in you, and then it makes that particular person to feel small, to feel useless. And next time when you talk to them, they won't listen to you because they are actually angry. So don't shout at them. Point number 5 is be compassionate, man. Be compassionate. Feel for your guys, man. You know, sometimes I will give you this typical example, man. You're working day shift and you started your shift at 6 o'clock and now it's 6 o'clock and there's no reliever. And then you cannot leave your post unattended. You cannot desert your post because there's no reliever. So what should happen there is that you must wait until the reliever arrives on site. You find that this guy who was supposed to relieve you just decided to go AWOL. Yeah, sometimes they decide not to call, they switch off their phone, they are either shaving there and then it's month end, they are drinking, they decide not to come. And this guy waits for you as a manager or as a supervisor to arrange someone. You arrange this person, you pick up this person, or this person, maybe it's a self-post. They proceed to that post and they get to the post maybe at 7:30 in the evening. It's a Friday and then it's late. Now this guy who's knocking off duty does not have transport. Transport is finished. Number 2, the hours that he stood there, who's going to pay those hours? You know, I've seen those things happening whereby guards are being, you know, exploited because you are subjected to that. You can't question that. You are the guard, you need to stand for 1 hour, 30 minutes waiting for a reliever after your normal duty time. And nobody's paying you for that 1 hour, sometimes even 2 hours. So it's not really, you know, just have compassion, man. Pay them that extra 2 hours. Number 2, at least assist with the transport. You know, some companies will assist, they take you home, they book you extra hours. When your timesheet comes, you can be able to check that, oh, there's a 2 hours that I worked on that day. You know, it makes people feel important. But if I work 14 hours, then 12 hours only appear, what happened to the 2 hours? It means I was just doing charity for that 2 hours. And the next person who comes is going to be paid for that 2 hours. You know, there's inconsistency there. So at least make sure that, you know, you pay them accordingly. Another point, which is the last point, number 6, is that don't make decisions about the cards without them. I've seen a lot of management, they've got this perception that when they make decisions, they must sit alone in the boardrooms and make decisions and superimpose those decisions to the guards and subject the guards to do that, which is, well, you are subjected to that as a guard. You can't question the instruction. You need to comply and complain later if you've got a complaint. But I'm talking to management now. It's wrong. Don't do that. It's wrong. What you need to do, these people are human. These people are the ones who are faced with challenges. What you need to do, if you want to really get it right the first time, take 1 or 2 guys to the boardroom and discuss the operations. I'm not saying talk about the company issues, how much the turnover the company has made this year and all of that. Those are confidential information. But when you talk about operation and you don't include the guards, you're going to have some issues, I promise you, buddy. So the best thing that you need to do, invite them, get them closer. When you invite them, they feel very important. They feel like we are super VIPs here. You hear the guard man saying, hey, I was sitting with the director there and we're discussing operation there. And then he was asking me how I feel about that post. And I told him that, listen, this post, we can have a guard there, and then they can rotate this way, and we can sort out the line. You can't decide about us without us. That's where the problem starts also. If you want to make any decision about, especially operational decision, there are certain decisions that the management can take without even consulting the guard. I do understand that. But sometimes, most of the time, operational issues, call those people who are standing there at the sun, who are getting the heat of the sun. When it's raining, they get to stand in the rain, sometimes without raincoats, manning the post there. Call those people, they will give you the right information. If you want information, call those people. Those people will help you, I'm telling you. So call the guards, invite the guards, treat them with courtesy. I'm telling you, you'll get more posts. You will sign more clients. A happy guard, when you're standing here and watching him performing his duty, I'm telling you, you will really be impressed. That's why some of these clients, they give guards money. They give money to the guards and say, hey, thank you, man. You're so professional. I like how you speak English. What is your name? And next time when that client comes and say, where is Donald? You see, now they start to recognize Donald. And Donald has got the potential now to run the sites or maybe to be recommended to another position, because if the client says so, who are we to say no? As a management, if you are part of the management, who are you to dispute what the client is saying? If the client says, I want Donald to become the supervisor, the client knows what he's talking about because he is working with Donald all the time. Give the client what they want. Don't come and bring someone else from your corner there and say, no, this guy cannot be a super. Now you are creating chaos. You are creating chaos. And another thing, companies don't really pay attention to. The 7th point is actually appoint people in a fair way, fairly, recommend people who are really qualifying for positions. I've seen people who are so empty, who don't understand what they are doing, becoming maybe supervisors, and they mess up. Incompetent people, they mess up. You really need to nominate competent people. You need to run the interview process. You need to interact with these people. They need to actually have them to gain confidence on you that, here we've got a good manager. He will always run the processes accordingly. So if you appoint incompetent people, those people, they can even get the contract terminated because they are incompetent. They know nothing. You need to make sure. And then I don't have a problem with companies grooming people who are inexperienced, right? You've been with this company maybe for 3 years, and there's a supervisory position that is available. They can groom you that, listen, we have noticed your effort, your hard work and everything. Can you please train on this position? And if you perform good, then when we advertise position, you have been earmarked. You are not appointed. Baska send the impression they have already appointed you. Now you can start now abusing your authority. So I'm a supervisor here. You can't tell me what to do, and that's not how you should behave. In a security industry, when you are a supervisor, you're working with people. You're working with people, you interact with people, you need to speak them in a very respectful manner. You need to interact with them on a daily basis. You need to make sure that they are fine, so that when the senior management comes, they find the site clean, ironed, and everybody on their post. Because if the guards are unhappy about you for some reasons, then it becomes a problem. I know for the fact that sometimes the guards will be angry at you just because you are doing your job as a supervisor. When you give them instructions and all that, especially when you have worked them in the same position and now you're getting promoted to a higher position, they start to look at you like someone who thinks is better. Jealousy. Jealousy is just the human nature. It's something that we can't run away from. So they start to be jealousy. They start to discuss you behind closed doors. They start to develop bad attitudes and all that. It's easy to deal with those things. Ask me, I've been there. I've dealt with those things. It's not a problem. Oksalayo, they're going to work with you until such time the company says, hey, stop. We don't need your service anymore. So us, as security officers, we are the security services providers. Security service providers to the company. When you take your SIRA certificate and go to a company and look for a job, you are there as a security service provider. You render the service to the company. The company employs you and takes you to the site. When you get there, you are a service provider, security service provider. You provide security services. And then if, as a company, you have an unhappy employee, they are going to render a horrible service, which the client will be very angry and unimpressed, because the client is paying for a good service and they expect a good service. And remember, the client has got nothing to do with payments, pay queries, everything. So you need to get your house clean as management. You need to make sure your house is clean, because if your house is dirty, then everything will just be dirty and it will be messy. It will look messy, then you're not going to get anywhere. That is why when you don't engage with your guards, you don't attend to the issues, they pile, and the guards will carry all those issues and deliver them to the desk of the client. And when the client receives those grievances, a whole list of grievances, when they call you as a manager, they, in their head, they think I'm calling a very useless manager to come here and account for all this mess. And now it's going to be difficult for you to be able to grapple with all those grievances, whereas you should have attended to those issues while it's still in, while you still had time, and interact with them and run through the processes of between you and the HR and giving them the feedback, and those who need appointments at the office to schedule appointments. To avail yourself. If you avail yourself, you're not gonna go wrong. There's no one who will shout at you, or who will, especially clients. The clients shout. They've got a right to do that, because the customer is always right. When they get a nonsense service, they shout, they get frustrated, and because that's their job, to make sure that everything runs smoothly, because they are paying a lot of money for the security services. What people don't know is that security is one of the most lucrative businesses, that when you run, it's guaranteed to get a profit. It's guaranteed. I know that there's too much admin, there's too much this, but definitely you get a profit. It's a profitable business. I've seen that. Don't ask me how, but I've seen that, yeah. And so you really need to make sure that you run everything smoothly. You need to be smart. As a company, you need to be smart, and you need to be preventative. You need to prevent issues from happening. Don't be a reactionary management. Be a proactive management. And sometimes management, they do ignore these issues. They take them for granted until they blow And when they blow, it becomes a problem because the contract now is shaking. Now the client is about to terminate the contract, or sometimes the contract is coming towards the end. The client says, I'm not going to renew this contract because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you need to make sure that you clean your house, you make sure you've got happy employees. Sometimes even, just be generous, man. Just be that manager. Don't be too kind, but don't be too hard. Just be that manager that you can be able to work with people. People can tolerate you. People know how you want things to get done. Don't threaten the guards with threatening warnings and all of that. You are now threatening them in such a way that they will be very scared, they will be nervous, and they'll make a lot of mistakes. So those are the things that I really feel we really needed to discuss, guys. So yeah, let's call it a day. Keep watching my channel. It's Bravo One Podcast 7 Leonda. Sure.